Namaste, welcome.
Namaste, Sujata.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Vinita, you can start.
A very, very warm welcome to each one. And as we've been hearing, people are saying that Sujati, you've been missed so much. And we skip one or two sessions, and everyone is right there to ask you for more. Okay, how are you and how are things? And to begin with, today we had a lovely session on abundance. And it was like really, really interactive. And so today's Sunday session in the evening is also related to that, where we say the art of allowing. So until and unless we give permission to ourselves, we open our heart to allow things to happen, drop resistance, drop fear, stop paddling our boat, as we say, upstream, but actually go with the flow, is then only we let the things happen in our life. And whatever, last 2 years we've understood, and there are so many people who talk about abundance, but they talk about abundance, most of it in terms of financial abundance. But abundance, as I've understood from Didi over so many years, is abundance attraction is towards all spheres of your life, not just financial. Financial is just one small part of it. And until as we drop all resistance, this abundance, this is not happening to us. But Didi, my first question is: it is so difficult to let go that control, or to let go, and let things happen on its own. How do we actually go about trusting, and not, is it not getting complacent?
Yeah, so thanks, Vinita, for that question to start off this session. This is exactly a question that Nitisha had today morning when we were doing the abundance workshop. And really, those of you who were there, some of you are still here, I would want you to share at some point. This really seems to be a continuation of that, a continuation of creating a wealth, creating abundance. And just before I joined into the session, I saw this little WhatsApp message which says that life is actually, it was an animated film, and it said that life is actually a journey from B to D. B as in birth, D as in death, and in between is the C, and that C is really your choice. That C is really the choice that you make. So one has to understand that allowing, what the word allowing means. And when we were putting up this topic, Srishti and Tanvi and Vinita put up different statements, but I actually wanted to use this word as allowing, the art of allowing, because it really is an art. And in my spiritual journey, what does it mean, allowing? What does allowing mean? Allowing is actually a gentle trust, a gentle persuasion that now that I have asked, it is coming. Now that I have asked, it is coming. Full stop. Nothing more, nothing less. When it is coming, how it is coming, who is getting it, how it will translate is not our business. Not our business at all. And like Vinita asked, that if we are not really doing anything, we get laid back or we get complacent. And are we becoming, as someone used in the morning session, the word indisciplined? Well, that's not at all the case. Because actually, when you say that, there are, if we are not sort of doing, or if we are not controlling things, or if you're letting go, then how will things move on? But actually, it is so. I mean, you are not making the sun rise, you're not making the moon rise, you're not making the birds sing, you're not making the plants grow. What are you doing? Ask yourself, what is it that you're doing? Everything is just happening, isn't it? What is it that you're doing? Yes, you're eating, you're feeding, you're sleeping, you're doing all this which is to be done in this three-dimensional aspect. But if you look at it in totality, if you look at it in the bigger picture, what is it that you're doing? Today you decide, I just don't want to sleep. Or just now I was talking to a young girl and she said, but things are not when will they become okay? So I told her, it is all okay. What is wrong right now? So she said, no, but this is not how it was meant to be. Now, who is defining how it is meant to be? We are defining how it is meant to be. And again, those definitions of ours are also not permanent, isn't it? Those definitions of ours, of how things are meant to be, are not permanent. Today I like something, tomorrow I don't like it. Today I want to do this, tomorrow I don't want to do it. Isn't it? So nothing is permanent. And that's what we need to see. But what is. If it is, if it is this way right now, this is the best way to be. And allowing is understanding that it is unfolding in the time that it is meant to be. And having that trust that it is happening in the way that it is meant to be. It is happening in the way that it is meant to be. Vinita, does that answer your question in any which way? Or please dig deeper. Or let's hear from others. What do they understand by allowing? When somebody says
But
that... Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, it is so easy for somebody to say, okay, I am just surrendering myself to the divine order and let me just sit and wait about. So that's one extreme aspect of a stick where we are, just letting the things go. But is it like we also say that, until unless you work hard, or maybe it is mind conditioning, we say that until unless you work hard, you will not get this. So I'm honestly still a little confused. Should we go towards what we really want? Should we, work harder in achieving our dreams, or should we just think that possibly it is not meant to be and
no, working harder is what we have done for years, isn't it? And today morning we also realized that it's not about working harder. I mean, you see people who are laborers who are working morning to night, then they should be multimillionaires, isn't it? It's a living example for all of us. They should be multimillionaires. They are the most hardworking people. Can any of us even do what they do for one day? And again, if you are meant to get up and do something, have the trust that you will be guided. You will be pushed. You will not have to make an effort to pick yourself up. Very unconsciously, you will pick yourself up and go. And if you say that, yeah, something is telling me to get up and do this, but no, I want to sit back and see what will happen. I'm not going to do anything. That is resistance, isn't it? That is resistance. If you have to allow certain things to come in, and for that you need to visit some place, or you need to pick up the phone and make a call, if you need to attend a program, if you need to do something, learn a skill, you will do it. But if you say, no, I will not learn a skill, but I will still want this job, which requires me to be doing this. So that's the inbuilt resistance, isn't it? And I understand the space from which, Vinita, you're asking this question, because it's a very gentle and a very subtle line. It's a very gentle and a very subtle line. So whenever you're coming from a space of, okay, I'm going to sit back and see, ask yourself, we've spoken enough about this on this platform, are you coming from a space of expansion? Are you coming from the heart space? Or are you coming from a space of contraction? Are you coming from the ego space? And instantly you'll know. And certain times you'll feel, okay, something is telling me to go, but my heart says, no, just sit back. It'll happen in the time that it's meant to. So listen to that. Just be very, very silent and listen. Don't mistrust every moment. I've said, but it's not happening. It's not happening. When will it happen? God doesn't listen to me. God doesn't answer my prayers. I was listening to a podcast a few days back, and the person who was speaking was saying that the moment we put our prayers out, God listens. You don't have to keep repeating your prayer or your plea again and again. And once God listens, he actually sends out those angels, or he, like we say, the moment we put it out, we put an intention and we put our attention on it, the pulse of creation begins to happen. Meaning the vibrations in the universe start getting created in such a way to make that wish, that dream of ours to come to reality, to come to fruition. But we get so impatient, we feel, oh, God is not listening. I've asked and it is not being given to me. It will be given in the time when you are ready for it. And that is not something that you can dictate if I may use such a word. And if it does not happen in a sort of stipulated time, understand it's not meant to happen now, and you are not ready for it. You are not ready for it. I ask each one of you sitting here, look back at things in life where you felt disappointed, where you felt things did not turn out the way that you wanted them in the time that you wanted them. And then at a much later time, you were able to understand that, yeah, this did not happen, but obviously at that point, I was not able to handle it. Or whatever, even if we look at those as reasonings or understandings, whatever it is that you want it to be. But it does happen all the time. So what we really need to know, and somebody was asking me in the class today also, how is it that we should ask? Will you explain how is it that we should ask? So I always say that always ask like a child. A child asks without any doubts, without any but, if, how, when, what. He just says, I want this, full stop. And if the parent feels, most of you here are parents, and if you as parents feel that, yeah, I need to give this to my child, you will give it at the time when you feel your child is ready. But if you feel, no, I don't think this is the right time, you'll hold it back, and it will pain the child. The child might cry, the child might scream, shout, but it will pain you also. As a parent, you're also feeling a lot of pain because you're not able to give your child what your child is asking for. But if we look at the bigger picture, you know that this is for the benefit of the child, isn't it? It is for the benefit of the child. And that's the trust that you need to have in your universal parent, knowing that when it is right time for you to receive what you are ready to receive, it will happen. So don't resist. And allowing does not mean that it's standing there and you have to open the doors. Yes, you have to open the doors with your faith, with your trust. So bring that energy in, and that does not mean again that, you're going to sit back like some saint or enlightened being and saying, it just doesn't bother me if it's not happening. Of course it will bother you. There'll be disappointments, there'll be discouragements, there'll be falls, there'll be, frustration, anger, all that is bound to happen. We're in a human body and we're going to experience all of it. But that's when we need to step back and even pray for the courage, for the strength to deal with what is, to be able to handle this time period, to get the patience to build more trust in this time. Does that make sense? Let me hear from you. And I saw a question being put up by Sarina. Do you mind asking it? Vinita, can you read the question?
Sure. You want me to read it, Sujata Di? I can.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, let's say there is something that we really want and we intend it.
Yeah.
How can we ready ourselves better to allow and receive it?
Okay, that's exactly what we are speaking. And I'm happy that you asked it in a different way. So when we have asked for something, firstly, you will only ask, you ideally will only ask when you feel ready for it, isn't it? So if you only have a doubt that, how do I know I'm ready for it? Now you put it in the other court. You put the ball in the other court and you say, I've asked for this. I really want this in my life. When the universe feels that I'm ready for it, it will appear in my life, and live with that trust, not with the discouragement or the disappointment that it's not happening. So the readiness is not something, most of the times when we ask, we only ask when we feel ready, isn't it? Most of the times when we want something in our lives, we really feel that, yeah, now I'm ready for it and I need to get it. And why is the universe not putting it in my lap? I'm praying so hard, I'm doing all the right things. Why is it not coming to me?
So
sorry, go ahead.
So we may feel that we are ready, but as you said, if that faith and that trust is not completely there, and we've always talked about this, whether you do positive affirmations, whether you are really affirming for what you want or reaffirming what you don't want, right? And that's that difference which we have to always recognize.
Absolutely.
So we may feel that we are ready for it, but genuinely to get ourselves to that place, how do we enhance that faith and that trust? And then sometimes you come across lots of these things which is like a destiny, and then the whole conflict between destiny versus free will, or well, not conflict, but how do they work in conjunction together? So, that whole dynamic being played, then the karmic journey that you're going through and the karmic accounts that you have to kind of clear and move on. I mean, one way that I do it, I just say that if this is what I want, let it be the best thing for me and let it be in the highest interest of everything around me.
Absolutely.
Right? But still, somewhere I feel, and which is why I'm asking this question, this whole getting yourself to a more enhanced state of readiness and trust and allowing, I feel I could do definitely lots better.
And I'm sure all of us could. I'm sure all of us could, because I don't think there's anyone here who says that I want it, puts it out, has the full trust and the faith, and does not feel that doubt coming in sometimes, or fear coming in, or discouragement coming in. But then what happens is that we step back and we actually ask for the strength to, like we say, we just allow it to unfold in its time. And even if when it is not happening and you feel, oh, I'm losing out on time, or things are not happening in the way that they are meant to, or whatever, that's the time when you have to understand that these are only voices of the mind that are coming in and distracting you. Ask your heart, and there's a part of you which will say, it's okay. When I know that I'm ready, when I know that things will, it needs to come. And you said such a big thing that you want that, or you are asking for something for your highest and best, isn't it? For your highest and best, and for the best, highest and best for everybody. And we cannot determine that. We are nobody to determine that. Isn't it? So when you feel doubt, when you feel fear, when you feel anxiety, will this happen? Will this not happen? You're disconnected, disaligned from your center, isn't it? Right? And then you step back and say, okay, so, I need to probably wait for some time. So the same platform where you have put out your request, now request for that patience, now request for that trust, now request for that faith to come into you. Because there are two options. That's the choice that we make. Either we can get into a space of mistrust and say, God never listens to me, things never happen my way, and etc., etc., etc. And that is only going down, going down the whole stream, where we are not going to be, we're only going to go into the, the lower emotions. There'll be anger, there'll be frustration, there'll be fear, there'll be depression, going on to, guilt, whatever, like going right to the sense of thinking that, my life is a waste and there's nothing that I ever receive. Nobody listens to me. And, God is always unkind, unfair, all that blah, blah will come into your mind. Or say, okay, so maybe I need some more time for this. And then you just sit back and you listen to that, and you ask for the strength to go through that time with more faith, with more trust. Just as you know that what you have asked for, that will also unfold. This too, ask for it. Ask for everything. Don't hesitate to ask. And then we get into the space of feeling that, when we ask, then we ask with doubt. Don't ask with doubt. Right? Because we say, I want this, but I don't know if I'll be able to handle it. It's just a statement we make without thinking. So we've already told the universe we want it, but I don't know if I'll be able to handle it. So are you prepared for it? Not at all. Where are you ready for it?
We get caught in the how of things, in asking for the what. I think that's what I've experienced. But, again, personally speaking, I am very grateful, because I feel that God really does listen to me, and the universe really does listen to me.
And God listens to each one of us. There is not a single person that God doesn't listen to, or the universe doesn't respond to. But the how and the when is not our business. And that is not our business.
And so in the interim, like you said, be patient and still have that faith. And each time you're feeling doubtful, ask for the faith to get strengthened. And it's like saying, I again heard it and read it, that your requests and your prayers and your wishes are like a catalog, right? So once you've ordered it, then you just let it be. You don't keep ordering again and again and again. Right?
Absolutely.
That's sent, and then it'll get fulfilled. It's like Amazon, or like being in a restaurant, right?
Absolutely.
Again and again. And so that's where sometimes also in your whole mind, this game gets played. कि मैं उसको बार-बार बोलते रहूं, or should I just now just let go? And then just, as you said, have that faith and keep asking for strength to keep that faith stronger and stronger every day, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Exactly. Because see, I'm just speaking in between. When you're asking again and again, it's whom are you not trusting? Is it you're not trusting God? It's you're not trusting yourself because you are not sure whether you deserve it. You're not sure whether it will come into your life. Isn't it? You know, like today morning only we were talking again that anything that you want a job, you want a car, you want a house, you want money, you want nature, you want whatever. Isn't it available in abundance in the universe?
It is.
I mean, you open the newspaper and there would be like a list of thousands of jobs that are available, which any one of us would be qualified for. And we need what? We need just one job. And we say there are no jobs just because we get rejected once or twice. Isn't it? So the universe is, but when we are asking again and again, and I'm coming back to what you were saying, it's only because we are unsure. We are not trusting, isn't it? It's not that the universe has any doubt that, okay, if she asks 10 times, then I will do it. Those are only things to satisfy the mind. Right? And when we get it, say by asking once and we say, oh, wow, how did I get so lucky? That doesn't happen to me. So the universe says, oh, did I make a mistake? You know what I mean? So be aware of your thoughts and say, yes, I fully deserve it. That is why I have received it.
Yeah, can I share something here?
Yeah, just give me a moment.
Yeah,
and then the universe feels that, okay, so we're not ready. Let us, I'm going to give you that, like my mundane examples and analogies that I use. When your child asks for the car keys and he's just 16, but he's learned how to drive a car and he says, give me the car keys, I need to go out and drive without a license. You will not give the car keys to the child, isn't it? You will not give the car keys because it's not time, even though he's perfectly skilled at driving the car. Right? Because there's a time for everything. In the same way, you may feel absolutely competent and absolutely capable of certain things, and you may say, I fully deserve this. Why is it not coming in my lap? Because the universe knows that it is not the right time. Right? And there may be no logical reasoning to this. Of course, giving the car keys to somebody below 18 is absolutely a crime. But you know that the child can drive perfectly. He's very careful, whatever. The fact is that it is what it is. Yeah, it is not right. So you will not do it. And you as a parent know that. The child will not understand that. Obviously, the child will not understand that. Even though a part of the child knows that it is not right, isn't it? But the child will still throw a tantrum and keep trying to ask you in this way, in that way, in so many ways. It's the same thing that we do. We know that the universe is not giving it to us, or it is not unfolding for a reason which I may not be able to put a finger to. Isn't it? But I still keep saying, okay, God, I mean, suddenly I'm feeling fearful. What if this doesn't happen? How will I, answer? How will I reply to other people? Or what will I do if I don't get this job? Whatever comes in, isn't it? So, but a part of you is also trusting that it's okay. If it's meant to be, it will come. And there are times when you'll be in a high vibrational state and you'll say, it's fine if it's not unfolding, if it's not happening, it will happen at the time. Just have that trust. And what is such a big deal if it doesn't happen? And there will be one time where you will feel, oh my gosh, how am I going to face the world? What am I going to do? How am I going to, survive? So it's just your vibrations that are determining how much you're trusting or mistrusting, isn't it? So really pray for that faith, pray for that vibration to move to that level where you can actually be in that place of trust. And okay, today I'm not feeling trusting. I'm really feeling that I'm drowning. Fine, so be it. That's also fine. Who says you can't be there? That's fine too.
Yeah, I know that's what Ro also always says, that every emotion is fine. You don't have to disregard and disrespect it. So one last dimension for me is, Sujata, when you pray, so like I like to just connect every day, morning and evening, for about X amount of minutes. That way. So I, for example, when I pray, I just pray in anticipation, thanking God for everything that I want. That's my way of praying, and which again I learned as a technique. But if I don't want to keep praying for the same thing, because we are saying that ek bar mang liya to usko let it be. So just share, I want to know your example and your sharing as to what do you pray for every day?
Well, now, these things keep changing as we grow, isn't it? Especially when we grow on a spiritual journey. So now really the prayer is like, dissolve all the separation and really merge me with you. That's the prayer, to really reach that. And yes, there are other small things also that sometimes you feel, oh God, I wish this happens. I wish, this person gets better. I wish this happens. So I pray for even small mundane things. I definitely ask. I never hesitate to ask. But my deepest prayer, is gratitude for what is, and really to be more and more in this space of being one with everything, dissolving the separation, merge me with you. And I remember this statement that I heard in one of my initial meetings of Muji Baba, where there was somebody who said, my first meeting with him, where rid me of the ego and sense of separation and merge me with who I truly am. So that's like a unconscious prayer that starts flowing through me, because I really recited it for many, many, many years with consciousness, with awareness. But now it's like just gratitude, just really dissolving. And I also ask, I ask that all this work that I do, because for me, my work is very, very sacred. May I be able to do it with sincerity, with honesty, touching each soul who comes into on this path, and always, like, I pray when I get up in the morning to be grounded, to not let arrogance, to not let any of that, egoistic spiritual ego also come into me, because these are things in the human comprehension that we do fear. I do feel that, I've always been asking for it, that no, my feet should always be on the ground, come what may. When you're getting thank you messages and people are saying, wow, what a wonderful talk, what a wonderful session, and then you see your things being put up on YouTube, this, that, whatever. I mean, they might be small things, but for me, sometimes they feel very big. But I always say that, no, don't let anything go to your head. Always keep your head bowed at the feet of your master, at the feet of God. So these are the kind of prayers that I usually say. But yeah, if I really feel that, oh yeah, I really wish this happens, I really wish I'm able to go there, or I'm able to travel, or whatever, simple things, I pray for that too. Okay. I wish this workshop is very successful. I wish I'm able to connect to everybody. Every time I sit down, I just center myself, connect, invoke, invoke all the higher energies, and just say, allow whatever needs to be flowing through me to flow. So actually you're surrendering everything there. So then I get cut off from between. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest prayers I feel, till what I understand as of now. Previously, our prayers were very different, but as we grow, the prayers keep changing, don't they?
Absolutely, they do. Yeah.
And whenever I feel that, okay, so I have to, like today morning, there was this wealth consciousness workshop, and everybody comes into that workshop probably thinking that, we're going to talk about money, we're going to talk about wealth, we're going to talk about some tools and techniques to attract money into our lives. And all those who were there, and some of you are here, you may really add to that. It has nothing to do with any tools and techniques. So when I sat down today, it was just that, allow whatever needs to be conveyed to this group in reference to this topic, from the space of truth, from the highest purpose for each and every one, not forgetting who we truly are. Just saying those few words, sitting down, connecting, and then just having the trust that those few points that I wrote out, I don't think I even read out one, because it just flows through you. And then you feel that, yeah, you're connecting with the people, you're connecting with each one who was there, and, because the feedback that you get, and actually you can make out that you're, what you want to get across. And I told them very clearly, I'm not teaching any tools and techniques because you have enough of them. You use them as and when you need, but you use them from a higher dimension. That is what I'm trying to tell you. Right? It's not really coming that I need it and I'm needy and I'm desperate. That's not allowing. I keep praying, I keep asking. That's not allowing. That's like being in a space of total fear. Allowing is, I have asked and I know that it is going to come. Ask and it is given.
Thank you. That was very, 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 very nice. Thank you.
Yes, Nitika, we want to hear from you.
Yeah, I just wanted to share an analogy I read somewhere. Okay, when you have to get pregnant, you get pregnant. It's just that you can't shortcut that process.
Yeah.
Anything before the desired date is premature. So we definitely don't have to announce it we don't have to restrict it and don't have to define it, you know, that I want it
Yeah.
within this specific period.
Yeah.
We just have to say it, declare it, and just leave it.
Hmm.
So when the time is
And
right,
I-
obviously it'll be
yeah.
gifted.
Yeah. And actually, this is, you know, for those of you who know the Osho cards, this is the patience card, because they show a pregnant woman there. They show the
Yeah.
waxing and the waning of the moon. It's going to take 15 days. You can't fast forward it. It's going to take 9 months. You can't fast forward it as much as you try. And everything, whenever it is meant to be, however it is meant to be, it is going to be. And again, that does not mean that you sit back, you don't ask, you don't do what is needed. No. But you do it from a space of faith versus a space of desperation. Is Divya here? She asked, not Divya, Chandra, Divya, the other Divya who asked something in the morning.
I'm here and I was actually waiting because I am, you know, this is such a beautiful thing. I think today is a really beautiful day. I'm actually on way, hardly 5 minutes away to generally a place which has been my trigger place, let's put it like that. But I'm going in the head with, I've already sent love there.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, okay, Divya, you're going here one last time because there is some karma that you have to finish. And it is your last time. I know it's my last time, even though I've
Don't
been
go
told
into
like,
the future. Don't go into the future. Never say never.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to.
I'm sorry
but
to be
anyway,
this thing, but who knows? Who knows? So
Who
don't
knows?
go into that.
So who knows?
Just go
Who knows?
there. You're going there full stop. No, but why I pointed out, why I called out to you was because you asked something in the morning,
Yes.
deserving versus
Yes.
resistance, isn't
Yes.
it?
I'm just going to add one question to that: deserving versus resisting, and right now versus right timing. So I asked this question because I know what it means not to deserve, because I've been like that. Lots of goodies have come my way and I've just not felt okay asking about them, or felt like, acha ye main kaise istemal karoon bina puche, and you know, things like that, which I deserve, and even rightfully. And one
Okay,
beautiful
I'm going
thing.
to stop you here 1 minute. See, you just made a statement that was so contradictory. This is your mind speaking. Let's understand that. If I fully deserve it, then why are the goodies right lying there, and why are you not picking them up? Because that is
I'm
not.
only now realizing it. Now.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's what I'm saying. And why you didn't do it was because a part of you did not feel fully deserving of it. You know, the universe offered it to you. And again, that is not your fault. That is not at all your fault. If you were meant to pick up those goodies, you wouldn't even have to raise a finger. They would have just fallen in your lap. But that was not the right time. They were out there, but you could not reach out to them. Don't we feel so many times? I mean, it's just right there. I'm just not able to grasp it. Right? So you have to be deserving of what? You have to feel worthy of it. You have to feel that, yes, I fully deserve this. Until the time you don't feel that, there will always be a resistance, because you have to, you know, like even right now, there were so many things that you said, and there was always a justification for what you were speaking. Who's wanting that justification? And I've really started finding this a lot in me and in other people, and I actually step forward and correct them. You know, I'm doing this for the last time because who's asking you? Who's telling you to let it be for the last time or the first time? Who are you to determine all this? I am going there full stop. The rest is not even in our control. Right now, what is why I'm going, what is the past, what will happen there. Maybe all the things that you have planned are just not there. Has the COVID not taught us that? How many of us had travel plans, marriage plans, so many plans? Where did they all go? Right? The universe knows that it's not time for all of that. So down the drain. So we have to understand that it's okay to aspire, to move, to grow, but then take it where you are right now, enjoy that. And with the permission of, you know, like Anjali is here and so many others who were there in the morning. And I'm going to just give a few examples of what we spoke. Like, you know, that 15 days I've not been able to sleep because I'm feeling, I don't know how I'm going to survive for the next 10 number of days or years or whatever, having gone through some kind of a crisis in life. And we all think so, isn't it? But the fact is that I don't know whether tomorrow I'm going to get my plate of food, and because of that fear, I'm not able to enjoy the plate that is right now in front of me that I'm being offered. I just can't eat it because I'm thinking, will I get it tomorrow? Forget about the tomorrow, eat what you have right now. If you can't enjoy this today, how will you enjoy it tomorrow? And you will be so satisfied if you enjoy it today, you may not need it tomorrow. And that goes with so many of our intents. We get so desperate to achieve it. The need is not to get what we want. The need is just to achieve because we have asked. Once we get it, we look at it for 10 minutes and it's out. Isn't it? Sorry, Anjali, you were saying something?
No, I was agreeing with you.
Yeah. Thank you.
So in
Because
short, Sujata ji, you're saying that the resistance is not deserving feeling part itself.
Absolutely.
Acha, so that is the
So you
resistance.
cover up. The resistance is a cover up for the non-deserving feeling. You know what I mean? I don't want it because I don't get it. I say, but it doesn't bother me. But of course, internally it's bothering you. Have we not all done these things in our life? Let's be true to ourselves. I don't care if it happens, okay. If it doesn't happen, it's fine. But internally, I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going to happen if I don't get this? But I'm just putting that defensive or I'm resisting it. I think it was for my good only. You know, I think whatever our mind tells us all those things. Thank God it didn't happen, because if it had happened, then what would have, what would I have done? So that's the contradiction. That is the resistance that we bring in, or we don't allow ourselves to go there. We fall sick, we meet with an accident or something we attract in our life that we don't confront that situation because a part of us feels non-deserving. It happens with so many things, isn't it? And then we say, yeah, but I think, that that job didn't come my way for whatever reasons. But the thing is that, to cover up that failure, that sense of failure, we choose a little different path because it is difficult for us to acknowledge that we have failed in a way, if I may use such a word. For me, there is no failure, but I'm just doing it for the lack of better words, to explain what I'm trying to explain. So this feeling of not feeling good enough, not feeling deserving enough, we cover up in some way by bringing in resistance or attracting situations that create resistance in us. Is that making sense?
Yeah, it is. I guess then that's how the health thing also comes in, right?
Absolutely. We know the body-mind connect totally. We know the body-mind connect.
Can resistance be karmic also, as we talk about sometimes?
So everything is karmic, Vinita. To some level, everything is karmic. I mean, that's what is my belief. There are other schools of thoughts also, and I respect them all. But everything is karmic to some level. It comes from a past, past karmas, from the past, lot of things that we need to complete, that we need to clear. So sometimes resistance is definitely from there. But the fact is that once we get onto this path of spirituality and we come into a space of awareness, we know that the resistance is coming from within us, isn't it? And so we are able to step back and watch that. And with that awareness, we are able to really overcome that resistance. That is the biggest tool. We do other things. Yes, we do Reiki, we do healing, we do tapping, we do everything. But ultimately, it is our awareness that will help us to overcome that resistance. Because most of our resistances come in by default. You're not even aware that this is a resistance till a point where someone points it out to you. You realize that every time you have an exam, you get an upset stomach. So you're fully prepared for the exam. So that is resistance because you're not able to digest certain things in your body, or you feel I may not be able to do good. Anxiety comes in. You get an upset stomach. You don't go to give the exam because you can't go to the examination hall, isn't it? That is internal. Pardon? That is resistance. Your body is resisting it because you're not feeling worthy enough of going and giving the exam, even though you know that you have studied well enough. These are subconscious ways of, resistance popping up.
Sujata ji, can I ask you one last thing in this very
1 minute. Let Vinita complete her.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I was just saying the resistance and fear, that means they come hand in hand. So
Absolutely. So you see, let's go back to where we started, Vinita, 1.5 years back, when we spoke about the body-mind integration. So everything comes from two emotions. All emotions come from two base emotions. Either it comes from fear or from love. Where do you think resistance comes from? Resistance will never come from love, isn't it? It definitely comes from fear. Your legs start feeling wobbly. You start getting butterflies in your stomach, isn't it? All those things only come in because you don't feel strong enough to face up with what is happening. People faint, people collapse, people get a heart attack because they're not able to come to terms with what is happening. That's the physical aspect of it, isn't it? And what do you usually do when you don't want to look at something in your life? Even as a child, what will you do? You pretend you're sleeping. Even as adults, when you want to ignore a situation, you feel, oh, I just don't feel like getting up because I don't want to look at that situation. I don't want to confront that situation right now, isn't it? So I try to sort of not distract myself, but I don't allow myself to come forward because I'm feeling so tired. I'm feeling so exhausted. I don't think I can get up. That's in a way resistance to what is depression. I don't want to face up to what is happening in my life, and I'm feeling depressed because things are not going my way. Nobody is loving me. Nobody is listening to me. I'm not lovable. These are the things that get us depressed, don't they? So when I sit back, it's like, let me just not open my eyes. Let me just not get up, because if I get up, I feel like a failure. Because things did not happen in a way that you had thought in your mind. You feel judged by other people. There are thoughts, perceptions, beliefs, which are just not true. They're just constructs of our mind. And we believe in them. We believe in them. And when we believe in them, they start becoming true for us. And that's how life begins to unfold for us.
Correct.
That's resistance also.
I'll just take a second, Deep. Please mute your mic because we are recording the session and there is a lot of disturbance that is coming. You know, I've just got a message from the backup team. Please mute your mic. Thank you.
Yeah, Vinita, go ahead.
You know, I'll come back to where we started, you know, how we grow complacent about it. But how do you think we can just overcome our fear, or I don't know. I mean, I'm still
Okay. I'm very happy that you're asking what you're asking.
Really, let go बहुत मुश्किल होता है करना. You know, it's not about control. It's possibly not about fate. It is maybe not doing anything, that feeling. You know what I mean?
But let go is also, I mean, when you say that it's not easy, nothing is easy if you look at it in that way. Now, this is resistance. If you can't let go, let be. Just let it be as it is. What is wrong in that? What is wrong in that? Let God handle it. It's fine. When you know that you can't control it, why are you putting in your energy to try and control it? There's nothing you can control. We know that fully well, isn't it? We fully know that nothing is in our control. We can't even control our breath. What else can we control? So if you can't, you say that I'm holding on to it, or I can't let go, and it could be different for different people in different situations. But if you can't let go, just let be. Just let it be. And allow yourself to feel all that you're feeling. Because the let go is actually consuming you up. It's totally destroying you. So rather than struggling that I can't let go, I just can't let go, just let it be. And when you come into the acceptance of, yeah, it is so, it is fine. You know, again, that example of it's raining today, I had to go out, I had a picnic planned, but it's raining. So what can you do? Can you stop the clouds? Can you stop the rain? You can't. So now it's your choice. You can enjoy your picnic, you know, goodies sitting at home, reading a book or watching a movie, or you can keep cribbing whole day. My picnic has been spoiled. My day has been ruined. So let be, just let it be. And then you'll see that once you let it be, you will find a way to deal with it in a better way. You will be guided. You will be guided because you have put your trust in a higher path. And that guidance is always there, but you're resisting it. You're fighting against it. It should not happen. It can't happen this way. He has to change. She has to change. It has to change. then you're resisting, so you can't see that guidance. You would enjoy equally sitting on your couch, reading a wonderful book or watching a movie and watching the rain. Does that make sense, Vinita?
Yeah, it does. But, it just makes me come back to one thing that aren't we really so conditioned in our thoughts? I remember while we were growing up, people would say, oh, if you need to really be at some place in life, you have to work hard and you have to, put your.
Yeah, but if
14
you
hours.
remember, yeah, we've spoken about this. And if you remember, we talked about this in the 6-week program also. That's really coming from a space of the lower chakras, coming from a space of fear, isn't it? Isn't
Correct.
it? Right? When we move beyond the heart and we know that what are we doing? I mean, did you choose to be born on a particular date? Did you
None.
choose to be called Vinita? Did you choose to take up this profession? Okay, that's to some level you might still be. Did you even choose to give birth to a child on a particular day? Did you choose to have a daughter? Did you choose to have a son? Nothing you chose. It's all happening. These big things are happening. Somebody is controlling all that. Give the remote control back and let the universe handle it. It's your struggling to think that, we have to work hard, we have to do that. Like I started saying, if we have to work hard, then the biggest people who should be most flourishing should be the laborers. We cannot even do 1/10 of the work that they do, isn't it? Then there's karma, then there's our stars, then there's astrology and all those things. And yes, there are those things. You respect each one. But there has to be a balance between the two. It's not that you sit back and say, okay, I'm not doing anything. The food will come into my mouth. It will be digested and everything. No, you have to, you have to put the food in the plate. You have to take it. You have to put it in your mouth. That is the reason that you have a physical body. And, these things are so small compared to the bigger things. Can you make the sun rise? Can you control those things? Can you make can you make a particular tree grow in a particular direction? No, this branch should not go there, it should go left. The tree doesn't do that, it just happens. Now this plant should be flowering and it should continue to flower all throughout the year. No, the universe says, no, it will happen only in summer. In the winter, there will be nothing on the tree. It will be like a barren tree. That's not governed by us. That's not governed by us. There's a universal, it's the way the universe has been planned, the whole Srishti, the whole Brahman. We cannot even do an iota of it. Don't you all agree to this? I mean, within our homes, we feel so, we want to control certain things. We want things to be in a particular way. And yes, we have been conditioned that things should go this way, but that's just how it is. I mean, we know that the sun is going to rise. We know that, the sun is going to set. Those are things that we have seen and we know because that is how life is. In the same way, our life also goes, but then there is karma involved in it, isn't it? We are doing certain things. We are getting up, we are eating, we are sleeping, we are working. And we are doing that either from a space of fear or from a space of love. When we do it from a space of fear, it is totally sort of stuck in the lower 3 chakras where it is I, the ego, me, the person who's doing everything. And then I get into the struggle. Why is this not happening? Why is this not happening? Why is it so? But when I move beyond that and I say, okay, so God is making me do all this. We say that now without God's permission, we cannot put a grain of rice in our mouth. So all that is also being done by the higher powers, by the universe. So allow it to happen, allow it to unfold, feel guided. When you feel frustrated, when you feel, why is it not happening? It's a time where you're going through a change between the heart and the mind. They're not in alignment. The moment you step back and you allow yourself to come into that alignment, you will get the guidance of how you need to do ahead or move ahead. And you will move from doing to just being. And in that being state, you will do everything that is meant to be, everything that you need to do. And you will do it in the most perfect way. You'll do it with full satisfaction, full gratitude, full joy. Does that make sense?
Yes, I have just written down this moving from doing to being. It's such a wonderful thing.
Yeah. And again, pray for it. It's not something that you can do.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And the biggest tool, like I said, is the tool of awareness. You know,
Faith.
it's on a day when I'm not feeling centered, I'm feeling scattered, I'm feeling upset, I'm feeling whatever, that I'm just not in a being space. And there's a day when I just get up, I'm just so blissful. I do nothing tangible, but still I feel fulfilled, isn't it? Is that in my control? Majorly not. So best thing is to pray to allow, pray to be open, pray to, just go with the flow. Like you only said, when we try to swim upstream, it's such a difficult task, isn't it? And when we just let ourselves be and we just go with the flow, it's so easy. We don't even have to lift a finger. When we all float on water, the water is just taking us where we need to. And you will always be taken to the place that you're meant to go. And if it is meant to be that you have to be in a particular place or it has to happen, trust me, it will happen. Otherwise, it will be there in front of you and you still won't be able to pick it up. And again, I don't know whether it was today morning or yesterday, I was talking to somebody and, I thought that when we were younger and, we wanted to visit certain places like, we wanted to go to Vaishno Devi or we wanted to go to the Golden Temple, we would always say, jab, when God will call us, jab Mata ka bulawa aayega, tabhi hum ja sakte hain. Isn't it? I know of a time when we reached nearly, just about 15-20 minutes before the Vaishno Devi temple, and we could not go in and get the full darshan because it started snowing and there was a storm, and I could only go and my family had to just be there, and they all came back without even visiting inside. So we used to say those things ki haan jiska bulawa aaya hai, ya whoever's meant, God will call them to his temple, to his abode, and then we'll visit those. But now I feel and I really believe that everything is happening only because of the sanctioning from God. If it is meant to happen, if God feels, if the universe feels this is meant to happen, it will happen. If it is not meant to happen, you try everything in your power, it will not happen. Everything will be ready, laid out, fully there. It will not happen. We've seen this COVID time has really taught me this. So for everything, the sanction has to come from there. It has to be the right time. And we used to feel, oh, I haven't prayed enough and God is punishing me and all that. But that's not true. That's really not true. If you are meant to be, if it is meant to be, and who is deciding if it is meant to be, how it is meant to be, it's only a higher power. It is only the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. I don't even want to give it a religious aspect. You're praying, yes, you pray to a form, you pray to a God, but actually you're praying to a higher consciousness, which is running everything, isn't it? Isn't it? What happens to you when you sleep at night? Who wakes you up in the middle of the night and tells you, okay, you need to go use the washroom? You get up, you go, you use the washroom, you come back and you go back to sleep. What woke you up? Have you ever asked that? Have you ever questioned that? When this was asked to me for the first time, I really reflected on it. Something woke you up. Okay, it was a higher consciousness, higher power. So that means there is a higher consciousness, isn't it? Isn't it? So just put everything there at the feet of the divine and say, God, I don't know how to handle this. Just even teach me allowing, teach me to trust, teach me to be in faith. Why do we only have to ask for the things and keep struggling and say, my faith is wavering? Ask that my faith is strengthened. Ask for whatever it is that you're feeling uncomfortable with. And there is nothing as I can ask for this and not ask for that. Don't put those barriers. Those are only put in by a mind. I can only ask for 2. I can't ask for 3. Ask for 20. Ask for 200. You will get as many as you deserve or as many as you need. Look at those people who sleep on the streets. I mean, majority of people in our country sleep and they don't know whether they'll, what is it that, where they'll get their breakfast, lunch, dinner from the next day. But they're well looked after for and they sleep peacefully. Isn't it? So don't, whenever you're getting into a fear, whenever you're getting into a space of where you feel your faith is sort of wavering, step back, ask for the strength at that time to go through that time, whatever it might be. And we all face challenges at different times in different areas. It could be our health, it could be some relationships, it could be some financial problem, whatever it is. Just ask for the strength, because that too has been given by the divine. And like we say, Tera tujhko arpan, yours back to you. You have given this trouble to us, divine. You will only take us out of it. And always know that you will only be put in a situation which you can handle. If you can't handle it, you will not be put in a situation. When you get a job, which you feel, oh gosh, this is so much more than what I think I can handle or what I was expecting, you never question it at that time. You feel so happy. I was only expecting, say, 10 rupees and I received 100 rupees. We never question why. Why did you give me more? But we always question, why have I got less? I expected 100 and I've got only 10. So reflect on these things, these small things, anything and everything that you're doing, reflect on them, step back, ask for that trust, ask to be connected, reach out, just take your hand out and you see how many hands will reach out to you. Yes, Divya, you had something to ask?
1 minute later. Was
Okay.
putting something down. Yeah.
Anybody else?
So empowering to hear it,
Well, this is the truth. Why do you feel empowered? Because this is the truth. That is why it feels empowering, isn't it? And it resonates somewhere inside. If you were in a victimized state and you would say, what is this nonsense? I mean, I know how much I'm suffering. Nothing comes to me so easily. I'm always working so hard. I'm still disappointed. My contracts are cancelled, blah, blah, whatever. I'm always disappointed. I don't receive my payments on time, whatever. But even though all that is happening, but still I'm feeling empowered. Because this is the truth. So step back when you feel yourself in a constricted space, when you feel fear coming up, just step back and say, God, you've put me here, take me out of this. Allow me to come into that space of really having full faith that this will unfold in the perfect time for me. Perfect.
That's beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So just keep
so
the
much.
faith, pray, be absolutely open to receiving.